Hello student. Today's topic is a poem Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. In this poem, the poet lays emphasis on the importance of quietude and calmness. He also talks about the necessity of quiet introspection and creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. The lines are: Now we will count to 12 and we will all keep still. The poet suggests that we should count up to 12 and then we should all keep quiet and calm. In this way, the poet is giving stress to the importance of silence and the necessity of quiet introspection. There is a question arise: what does the poet hope to achieve by keeping quiet? I think the poet hopes to gain inner peace by keeping quiet for some time. The next lines are: For once on the face of earth, let's not speak in any language. Let's stop for a second and not move our arms so much. You know, too much rest activities has turned our world into a feverish and hellish place. There is not even a single moment of rest and relaxation, and even of self introspection for any of us. We are busy with activities which harms us physically as well as mentally. So the poet is saying that we all should not speak in any language. We all should stop our work and we should not move our arms. At at this time, he would like to say that we should sit perfectly still, not move our arms at all. And this perfectness, stillness, and quietness is what he recommends to us. Next lines are: It would be an exotic moment without rush, without engine. We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. Here, the poet is saying when all in the earth would be silent, that moment would be an extraordinary moment. Without rush, it means people were not doing any work. Without machine, people were not moving any machine. So we would all be together. Okay? And in that mysterious silence, we will be able to communicate with one another. A sudden strangeness will prevail when we all would be quiet and calm. You see that this moment will make us realize our mistakes. In that quiet moment, we will be able to communicate with others and also realize the necessity of understanding. The next lines are: Fishermen in the cold sea would not harm whales, and the man gathering salt would look at his hurt hands. The poet suggests that people should cease every activity for a moment to do introspection. He emphasizes the need to reflect what we have made of this world. So, through these lines, he requests to the fisherman to stop fishing and should not harm whales in the far off sea. He appeals to the man gathering salt to find times to look his hurt hands and take care of them. Next is those who prepare green wars, war with gas, wars with fire, victories with no survivor. Here the poet gives a piece of advice to the warmongers. They wage war against the environment. War with gas means using poisonous gases in war. War with fire means use of fire, arms, bombs, etc. So the warmongers must stop the business of killing. Victory with no survivor. It means if they kill everyone, so there would be no survivor to see their victory, to celebrate their victory. So, what should they do? Would put on clean clothes. It signifies changing old way and living in clean, peaceful way. So, the warmongers must divert their minds and walk about with their brothers in the shade doing nothing. They would walk about in the shade doing nothing. The poet says to stop harmful activities and to establish brotherhood in the. Perhaps the earth can teach us as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. As we know, in this poem, the poet lay emphasis on the importance of quietude and calmness. He also talks about the necessity of quiet introspection and creating a feeling of mutual understanding among human beings. In these lines, he has given an example of earth. He says that the earth itself can teach us the art of living. Life and living never stops on earth. When everything appears to be dead, only one thing remains alive, and it is the earth. So, nature continues to be at work even under apparent stillness. Pablo Neruda gives a message that we should free ourselves from feverish activities and rest as well as relax sometime. And at that moment of silence, we would create a feeling of mutual understanding and develop cordial relation with other. And in the last line, he says, now I will count up to 12 and you keep quiet and I will go. So the poet repeats that he will count 12 and we should keep quiet and still. What I want should not be confused with total inactivity. The poet asserts that he should not be misunderstood. What he wants should not be confused with total inactivity. Life is what it is about. Life is real and it is to be lived. I want no truck with death. He does not want to ruminate over death. He does not want to connect inactivity to death. Hope clear? So the next lines are if we were not so single minded about keeping our lives moving and for once could do nothing. He says that life should be lived with positive attitude and single mindedness. Single mindedness is not focusing on only one thing, okay? That is keeping our lives moving. So it would have been better for us to take some rest. Perhaps a huge silence might interrupt this sadness of never understanding ourselves. So perhaps a long silence can do good as we are threatening ourselves with death. Sadness is here, failure to understand ourselves, and of threatening ourselves with death. At such time, silence, even for a single moment, can remove our sadness. So, in a simple and straightforward language, the poet suggests that total inactivity does not mean death. He does not want to make any connection of inactivity to